Right here, down. Protect your out. We put the work in. Let's finish. Come on, man. Let's do this. Family, I'll do 1, 2, 3.
You see, we dream chase, cause that's all we was given to start with. Then we realized the dream was obtainable. Now look at us.
What's going on, man? Welcome back to the episode of the Main Thing Podcast Presents. I'm your man, Big Huss, the one you trust, bringing you all your Philadelphia Eagles latest. Now, look, man, it's week 14. Monday Night Football's coming up, and the Philadelphia Eagles are heading west to face Los Angeles Chargers. With half the roster in the walking boot, a division race tightening around their throat, and an NFC playoff picture shifting like the California fault lines they're about to play on. Now, look, we're not just talking injuries. We're talking survival. We're talking the Slay saga, the Cowboys blinking first, Mailata's incredible journey, and what Philly has to do, not just to win the division, but to stop this 2-game skid before it turns into a free fall. Now, look, if you haven't subscribed, you're not liking, you haven't commenting, please make sure to go do that because it helps with the visibility and the algorithm. And I know you want to hear all this pressure me and Mr. Owens love to put out, man. Now, look, let's jump right into it. The Eagles injury report from hell. The injury report this year reads like someone that spilled alphabet soup all over a triage chart, right? And week 14 is no different. The Eagles dropped both their first and second official injury reports of the week ahead of Monday night, right? And the headliners are this. DNPs, you have Jalen Carter, who just recently had shoulder surgery, already ruled out. You have Lane Johnson, who's dealing with a foot, likely will be out, could possibly be back as early as week 15, though. So that's something to keep our eyes out for. Then you had Landon Dickerson, who was out, but honestly, I believe it was just a rest day, just making sure that he's ready to go for Monday night's matchup. And he needed it. His season's kind of been a grind, dealing with some injuries really from the start. Now, with Jalen Carter's sideline, you're rolling with Jordan Davis, Moro Jomo, Byron Young, Ty Robb, and maybe even some Brandon Graham on the interior. It's not ideal, but hell, it's our reality right now. Lane Johnson, that means you're going to see Fred Johnson, right? No Lane Johnson, we see Fred Johnson. He'll be yet to start again. And, you know, that's gone some good, some bad. You know, he's kind of had an up and down roller coaster when replacing Lane, but I have the utmost confidence in Fred. I'm sure the team does as well. That's why they're putting him out there. Now, let's talk about some limited participants real quick. You had Jalen Phillips. He suffered a concussion. He was limited 2 straight days. It hasn't yet cleared protocol, but the clock is ticking. I believe they have till Saturday at 4 o'clock to officially activate him. You know what I mean? Or not activate him for this game on Monday. Zach Bond, he's dealing with a hand. More than likely, Billboard Bond, he's playing for real. Jahan Dotson, toe, more than likely, same deal. He'll be playing. Then you had Xavier Gibson, who's limited Thursday, was a full on Friday. And look, I still don't know why he's on. I mean, I do know why he's on the roster, but ball security has really been a big issue for this guy, really leaning in the reason why he's been cut by several teams. But if we can get him back, at least you have another return option versus kick return, punt return type deal. But ball security has to be something that this guy really focuses on. Now, some full participants, Marcus Epps, shoulder, looks like he'll get activated for Monday. This is huge. We all know Marcus Epps. We love Marcus Epps. He's a tough guy, smart guy, a veteran, has been around, played with the Eagles for a nice little bit. Then you have Miles Hinton, who's dealing with a back. He's practicing, but probably will get shut down for the rest of the year. We'll kind of see how that goes. So this team is going to walk into, SoFi Stadium a bit banged up, not broken, but banged up. And we're just getting enough bodies back to not be a skeleton crew. I think that's kind of been one of our main issues this year, outside of some coaching issues. It's really just been us staying healthy. And that's been on both sides of the ball, whether that's been offensively, defensively. The injury bug has really caught up to us this year, and we're managing it really the best we can. Now, let's talk about this Darius Slay saga, right? big play Slay. If this was any other franchise, this would be KS. But because it's the Eagles, it feels like a Tuesday. Slay gets claimed by the Bills. Slay doesn't report to the Bills. Slay gets placed on reserve. The did not report list. So what does that mean? It means that Buffalo owns his rights. He's counting against their cap, and they have absolutely zero incentive to cut him loose immediately. Like, why would they do that? There's no win for them there. Unless, and this is the spicy part, they really don't want to piss off Drew Rosenhaus. They add this Drew Rosenhaus, man, he's a dog. That man is a cannon. He's well known around the league as one of the best agents, and he gets deals done. So let's be real. If they were worried about that, Slay would have been waived already, right? But here's where you gotta kind of perk up. There's a non-zero chance, not guaranteed, but not crazy, that Buffalo is holding Slay hostage until after they play the Eagles in Week 17. Honestly, if I was the Bills, I'd do it. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Why would I release him to a team who's fighting for a Super Bowl championship, right? They're the team that's a contender. Why would I release a player, making them better, knowing that we have to see them in a few weeks? If I'm gonna release them, I'm gonna release them after we play, y'all. And y'all, good luck to y'all for the rest of the year, right? But once that game is over, maybe they say, hey, go ahead, fly back to Philly, because we know this is where Slay wants to be. This is where his family wants to be. This is home for Slay. Now, is that certain? No. Is it interesting? Hell yeah. Right? That is something that, as Eagles fans, we definitely need to be monitoring on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis, especially with some of the inconsistencies that we had at CB2. Roderick Jackson has got better from week to week, but my man gets injured a lot. So to bring Slay in somewhere where he's familiar, we're familiar with him. He just won a Super Bowl here. He could fill a void that we've had at that CB2 roster. Now, the Eagles, they're not collapsing after all. There's some hope. We can still truly pull off the back-to-back NFC East Championship, vibe. We're the only team to do it, you know what I'm saying? The past 20 years, so let's get to it. Now, look, Eagles fans spent the last 2 weeks staring into abyss like philosophy majors after their third espresso, trying to figure out what we're seeing right now. Losing to Dallas, it was tough. Losing to Chicago, man, that was real tough. But then a little grift arrived on Thursday night, right? The Dallas Cowboys lost. Their three-game win streak, gone. They fall to the Detroit Lions last night, and suddenly the NFC East breathes again. We got a little breathing room. We just gotta tighten up. If Philly even goes 3-2 the rest of the way, the NFC East, no matter what Dallas does, is ours. Now the Cowboys can win out, sure. And their remaining schedule is basically a guided nature walk. It's very easy. This is their schedule. The Vikings, they're nobody right now. The Chargers, that might be a somewhat of a good game. The Commanders, struggling. Giants, struggling. Only one of those teams has eaten spot solid food this season, right? But here's a twist. If it would be hilarious if Dallas did win out and still missed the playoffs, right? They did everything they're supposed to do and still came up short on this, right? And that's on the table. That's a real possibility. It would give them the 18th overall pick, the worst possible pick for a team that doesn't make the postseason. And for Philly, chef's kiss. Bye-bye, bye-bye. You know what I'm saying? Bye-bye, baby. So Eagles path, the bye, what it actually matters. Let's bring it back to Philly real quick, right? Here's our remaining schedule. Yeah, the Chargers, Monday night. That should be a good one. Raiders, Washington, the Buffalo Bills. We know how that game can go. And then we play Washington again. The Eagles need stability. We need to win. We have to finish this season strong. If they could beat the Chargers on Monday night, the magic number drops to 2, the pressure shrinks, and suddenly the idea of fighting for the number 1 seed doesn't sound like a comedy routine. We are very much back in that race. We could talk about the bye. We could talk about the NFC playoff picture, but none of that matters until they beat LA. LA is our first hurdle, and we have to overcome it, right? Handle our business, stop the bleeding, and reset the season. A win in LA it does a lot, not only for the record, right? As far as, once again, fighting for that NFC number one seed, but it does a lot for the mental and the psyche of the team and the coaches. We're in a bit of a rut right now. We had two, I'm gonna call them embarrassing losses. Two games are really, if we went in there and handled business, we should have won versus the Cowboys and the Bears, but we didn't. This LA game gives us a chance to reset, open your windows, get some fresh air in the building, and you feel a bit rejuvenated. So we got to go in there and handle business. Now let's talk about, man, our big man, Jordan Mailata. From a rugby long shot, man, to man of the year. Let's end with something good, something positive, something that reminds you of why football is bigger than just a scoreboard. Jordan Mailata, former 7th-round pick, guy who had never played football, former 6'8" gamble, right? The Eagles 2025 Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. How far he's come. And he's earned it. On the field right now, he's ranked 12 out of 83 offensive tackles per PFF. Rock solid, consistent. He has been a leader. Off the field, Mailata's been everywhere. Children's Alliance, cancer research, Eagles Autism Foundation, which we all know, raising over $200,000 through the Stoutland University apparel line. Him and his wife have been the anchors in this city, right? Really giving back. He's lived his dream from a total unknown to a Super Bowl champion to a team captain and now one of the league's elite citizens, right? You want something to cheer for? That is definitely something to cheer for, because as I just said, football is bigger than just, the gridiron. These folks, man, they're people outside of the stadium and they have lives, And for a man who has had so much success now over the past few years to give back the way Jordan Mailata does, realizing like, man, I've been blessed, so I need to bless others, right? That's huge, and that really is something to vote for. So vote for him by using the pound WPMOY challenge, then put Mailata or through NFL.com. Man, let's really give Mailata a real push here, man, and go out there and vote for him. He really deserves it. He's really been doing this thing. Now, here's the main thing. Wrap it up for y'all, man. The Eagles aren't collapsing. They're wobbling right now. They're battered. They're flawed. But at the end of the day, we're still standing. They have a chance Monday night to remind the NFL who they are and honestly to remind themselves who they are. Not the team that sweet walked through the Dallas game, the Chicago game, but the team that locked down the division title. Compete for the top seed. Make that noise in January, pushing for that February Super Bowl, right? And if they do it, if they can handle the Chargers and the rest of the season resets. The division tightens their grip, and we can start talking bigger things. But first things first, you can't put the cart before the horse, BLA. Focus in. Now, look, me and Mr. Ohms, we're going to put out our Eagles Chargers preview video tomorrow afternoon sometime, so stay locked into that. Stay locked into your birds. Stay locked into the Main Thing Podcast Presents. And if you don't know, I go by Big Huss. This is the Main Thing Podcast, man, where we keep the main thing the main thing. I hope everyone's having a great Friday. Stay blessed. Stay warm. Hey, man. Until next time, let's go birds. We out.
It was I was gonna make a lot of money doing what I wanted to do. I went after it, and it was a struggle to achieve it. But you know what? I caught that bitch. Dream chasing.